Welcome to Pigeons the Segment, or Pigeonsauce. This is a little presentation put together by Swishy, who I believe made the rat presentation as well. But let's learn. I'm a little biased. I like pigeons more than people usually do. Leave it to me to read at the very end of the stream. But you probably know pigeons as those fat birds that eat bread at the park and shit everywhere. While this is true, it's not the whole story. Pigeons are some of the most misunderstood animals on Earth, and it's entirely our fault. The human relationship with birds of the Columbidae family, probably saying that wrong, stretches back thousands of years, around 5,000 years ago. Mesopotamians began raising wild rock doves for food. Not only were these guys fat and delicious, but the pigeon shit was prized as a fertilizer. Oh. Pigeons and their dove cousins quickly became an important part of everyday life. Having hordes of pigeons meant prosperity, so they soon became important symbols of spirituality. Pigeons featured prominently in ancient and religious ceremonies and traditions across ancient civilizations, including China, Egypt, and Greece, as symbols of love, purity, and peace. These ancient peoples even went as far as to design special homes that would encourage the pigeons to roost there. Some of these designs are still in use today. Ever wonder why doves are released at weddings? Well, they're not. What you think of as doves are actually white homing pigeons. Doves wouldn't be able to find their way home, and most likely wouldn't survive in the wild. Which brings us to our next important pigeon feature. Hey, how'd that get there? Homing. Oh, I get it, because Homer Simpson. Alright. Now, there are some videos, and I'm trying to figure out when to play them. So I think you can check out the Pigeon Tower. Wow. Oh. Well, by roughly 1200 BCE, civilizations were harnessing their extraordinary homing instinct. That'll do. Using pigeons to carry messages between cities. This would play a role, and they would continue to fill that for millennia. In Game of Thrones, ravens are used to deliver messages, but in reality they aren't particularly good at it. Ravens lack the strong homing instinct of a pigeon, plus they just don't got time for that shit. Pigeons, however, are known to travel 300 to 600 miles in a single day. That's crazy. Fun fact, homing pigeons are known colloquially as Homer. They're as a homer. Now, the way homing pigeons work is backwards from what you might think. Pigeons can only travel to what they consider their home. When traveling, people would take their own pigeons with them. If a message needed to be sent back home, the pigeons would find their way back from wherever they were taken. Cities would even raise and then trade pigeons with each other, so they would have a pigeon for whichever location they needed. It's amazing. Unfortunately, when the telegraph and later the telephone were invented, pigeons lost their primary jobs. Oh man, unemployment. Then, with the advent of cheap industrial fertilizers, they lost their number 2 job. After that, eating pigeon fell out of fashion when mass-produced chicken and beef became popular. So, faced with no further use to humankind, pigeons were abandoned. True. Let's watch a little video about how they were trained.
When you think about all the animals mankind has trained over the eons, it seems hard to believe that the lowly pigeon was once used for communication. After all, these are the same filthy avians that shamelessly leave their droppings on your windshield. Ooh. But despite their stigma of being dirty, useless birds, pigeons have in fact made a great contribution to humanity. Throughout history, they've been utilized to deliver important messages. Such is the legacy of the glorious carrier pigeon. The practice of domesticating pigeons goes all the way back to ancient Egypt, where bird keepers would build pigeon towers and train the pigeons to recognize the towers as their home. However, one of the earliest recorded instances of pigeons transmitting messages dates back to circa 700 BC, when pigeons were used by the Greeks to deliver the results of, wait for it, yes, the Olympic Games. From then on, carrier pigeons actually held a high status in society. Everyone from the Romans to Genghis Khan used pigeons as a form of communication. Pigeons are quite intelligent, reliable, and easy to train, the same way as you were trained as a child. Pigeons are raised by a keeper, and since they're naturally docile, it's a simple matter to breed and domesticate them. They are kept and fed in a coop, loft, or, if you're an ancient Egyptian, a tower, which actually plays a big role in teaching the birds where home is. The idea is that the pigeons will want to come back to their source of food, and while it's easiest to train pigeons from birth, it's also possible to train or even retrain adult pigeons, although retraining is considerably more difficult. Once the pigeons are acclimated to their new home, usually after a month or so, they're released to fly freely. Amazingly, most often the pigeons will simply fly in circles to get their bearings. Many keepers will make sure the birds are hungry when releasing them for the first time, so they come back for food. After another month, the birds are released farther from home. Most keepers start by taking the birds about a quarter mile away, making sure the coop is still in eyesight. Then, gradually, the pigeons are taken farther and farther away until the desired distance is reached. You might have noticed that, much like Mexico City roads, carrier pigeons are one way. They're only trained to fly home. When the time comes, the message is attached to the pigeon's leg, and it's set free to fly back to its familiar destination. So, next time you see one of these winged beauties of the sky, point aloft and coo in wonder. Then feel free to chuckle that they were once the ancient world's answer to email. Alas, how they've fallen from their former glory. In any case, that, my friends, is how the humble carrier pigeon is trained.
Okay, so two things, chat. I didn't set that to 2 times speed. It was just downloaded like that. That's just me dragging it into XSplit. And 2, the name of the channel is Side Quest Animated History. How were carrier pigeons trained? Go check out the video. It's 4 minutes, but you wouldn't know that from watching that. Okay. One of the saddest examples is the passenger pigeon. Once the most abundant bird in North America, passenger pigeons traveled in enormous flocks that darkened the skies for hours at a time. With billions of birds estimated to have existed in the 19th century, but their sheer numbers made them a target. Overzealous hunting combined with widespread deforestation that destroyed their nesting habitats made their population collapse within just a few decades. By the turn of the century, only a handful remained. One of the last records of a bird being caught in the wild was from Skibbity Riz, Ohio in 1900. You didn't have to do that. Now, with only a few birds remaining in captivity, the American Ornithologists Union offered $1,500, equivalent of $50,000 today, for any live bird, or even just an egg. But the efforts were already too late. In 1914, the last known passenger pigeon, Martha, died in captivity at the Cincinnati Zoo. Their extinction serves as a reminder that even the most abundant species can disappear when humans dick around. That's a shame. Former flight range of the passenger pigeon in North America. Well, they're cute little guys. I think the pigeons and doves are real cute, actually. I think they are. So, that's sad. But let me show you Martha.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Chris.
Lucia, nice to meet you.
Welcome to the Division of Birds.
Thanks.
The Smithsonian has one of the largest collections in the world, open to scientists from all over.
Okay.
Anyone who wants to come and study birds, they can either come here.
For the future, by the way, if people want to do educational segments, I just want to let you know, be a little bit more careful and definitely edit down stuff if you can. You know, I learned the hard way from hot dog videos. So, and also definitely give credit and let me know the name of the video on the channel.
Work with us, or we can loan the specimens to them.
Obviously, Smithsonian channel.
One specimen stands out above the rest.
For you
Oh
to see
my
today.
God, you're kidding me. That's Martha?
This is Martha.
For a pigeon fan like Lucia, this is like seeing a movie star.
Wow.
The very last passenger pigeon.
She died in the Cincinnati Zoo
Yeah.
at 1 p.m. on the 1st of September, 1914. She was literally alone for about 4 years before she
Oh,
died.
man.
And we knew at that time that there were no other ones in the wild. So this is one of the rare cases when you can actually place an exact time and date on an extinction.
Today, Martha sits for posterity beside her companion, appropriately named George, a fellow passenger pigeon who died long before her.
Wow.
Hundreds of years ago, passenger pigeons were estimated to be about a quarter of the total bird population of the United States.
That's fucking
a flock
insane.
A mile wide, flying 60 miles an hour, could take days to pass overhead. So where did they go?
What?
The story really is not a simple one. There are a lot of factors involved with any extinction. In this case, there was a lot of market hunting. They were easy targets because they occurred in these large flocks of over 1 billion birds. A hunter could go and collect thousands at a time
Oh my
without,
God.
really having to try that hard.
Passenger pigeons became a staple of the American diet. By the end of the 1800s, millions were being shipped back to cities in the East. Another natural factor sealed their fate.
They didn't lay as many eggs as other pigeons, so it was easier
Oh.
to lay them out that way, right?
Yeah, the biology of the passenger pigeon was such that they really relied on those large flocks for a couple of reasons. One was protection from predators. There's safety in numbers, and they didn't have to lay a whole bunch of eggs to reproduce. So in a matter of just a few decades, we're just all gone.
Man. Poor
Once a
Martha.
species is gone, no amount of wishful thinking can bring it back. Birds still go extinct, but the loss of the passenger pigeon made people take notice. It prompted the very first legal protections for migratory birds.
Well, that's a positive, at least. Well, that's the Smithsonian channel, everybody. But no, I mean, it is... We've done that plenty of times as a species, but I wonder how many other species were saved as a result of the passenger pigeon. So, there's always a positive. But I can't even imagine, like, the sky being blotted out by birds for, like, several days at a time. That's fucking crazy. Oh, my controller just turned off. Also, that's another thing, too. We'll probably learn about it here. But, like, the dumb pigeon nests, like, that's kind of a meme. But the rock pigeon in particular, their eggs are meant to be on cliffs. So they're just not adapted to making, like, nests in a city. But that's the way I understand it, at least. This music is a little too upbeat for this. All right. Though their traditional uses were now defunct, there still existed hobbyist breeders across Europe and Middle East and South Asia. These pigeon-obsessed nerds continued to selectively breed pigeons, creating the remarkable variety of fancy breeds we know today. There are over 350 recognized domestic breeds and another 300-plus wild species. These birds became so diverse that Charles Darwin later cited them as one of his clearest examples of selective breeding. Hobbyists also found fun in pigeon racing, which is exactly what it sounds like. It's basically horse racing, except the horses have feathers and weigh less than a McDouble. Oh, that's a hell of a comparison. Not the first one that would have come to mind for me, but these trained pigeons are released hundreds of miles away and race back home at incredible speeds while humans stand around drinking beer and trying not to get shit on. This weird sport has led to what's become known as the Pigeon Mafia, a criminal organization that makes money kidnapping and selling prized racing pigeons. Fucking life is just so goddamn weird. It really, really is. And now
60 Minutes has reported on plenty of high-profile crimes
the pigeon
before,
mafia.
but nothing like the foul play involving the Columba livia domestica. That's not some international crime syndicate. That's the scientific name for pigeons, and they're being stolen. We're talking about elite racing pigeons. The finest compete at international events in which they're released far from home and must find their way back. As prizes have risen up into the millions, the birds have become targets for what insiders call the pigeon mafia. The Flemish region of Belgium is a land of medieval towers and fine chocolate. It's also home to some of the most sought-after birds on Earth. Yep, these guys. What Kentucky is to thoroughbred horses, Belgium is to
Video
racing
sped up.
pigeons. And there are few better at breeding a champion than Tom Van Gover. Where some see a bird that looks like it's trying to remember how to breathe, Van Gover sees an elite athlete with a calculating gaze.
What makes this pigeon a great racer?
Yeah, he has everything a good racer need to have, but of course we cannot look in the head. You can have a very smart pigeon, but when the body is not strong enough, his head wants to go home, but the body cannot follow the other. So
Van Gover breeds, sells, and races his pigeons at events around the world, such as this. The weight of his dominance can be seen inside his modest home. But in his pigeon loft out back are his real prizes. Pigeons that can fly hundreds of miles at highway speeds, feathered Ferraris worth a fortune.
How much could you get for all the pigeons out there?
I think around $10 million.
$10 million in pigeons.
Yeah, for these 300 sitting here.
This was his greatest. His name was Finn. In a sport in which pedigree is everything, Finn was the secretariat of the sky. Pigeon breeders, known as fanciers, traveled across oceans just to take a picture with Finn.
People all recognize him because of his color, but of course he was a very good racer and of course a very good breeder.
Finn was not for sale, but he was a priceless stud. Fanciers paid up to $100,000 for Finn's offspring.
What a cool pigeon.
And then, one night, as Van Gover slept, a nightmare unfolded in his pigeon loft.
Oh, no.
This surveillance video is from 2024. Finn was in his favorite spot when he was snatched by an intruder.
It's like the Mona Lisa from the pigeon sport they stole.
Why the Mona Lisa?
Yeah, because it's famous. Maybe it's old and it's not for sale, but everybody wants to see it.
6 other pigeons were also abducted.
And the first time you watch it, and the second time, and the third time, and then start to look, who is he?
The whodunit was among 35 pigeon robberies across Belgium over the last 3 years.
God, this is so
High-value racing
ridiculous.
pigeons have also been stolen in Great Britain, South Africa, and the United States. This tape was from an unsolved caper in 2023 outside Philadelphia. To understand what's behind this avian crime wave and why a member of our species would risk jail time to steal a member of this species, we visited Ryan Zonikin.
So what is different about this pigeon than the pigeon I'm going to see in New York defacing a statue?
They're bred for
pigeon,
the performance,
like bread.
for their racing abilities.
Zonikin is a Canadian fancier who calls himself the pigeon boss.
When you're holding a pigeon in your hand, what is it you're looking for?
It's got to be like a steel bar, but then it has to be as light as an empty soda can. And the feathers have to be like the most beautiful woman's hair, soft and silky. That's how it's got to be. And then the eye has to look like you're at Tiffany's.
Look like you're at Tiffany's. The pigeon eye?
The eye of the pigeon, yeah.
That eye, to the uninitiated, looks more like a panic button. Pigeons don't walk so much as glitch. Their coloring resembles concrete tinged with the broken rainbow of a parking lot oil slick. And when they take flight, they can make you look like a Disney princess that's hit rock bottom.
They fixed your hair for you.
What is with these analogies
Zonikin
today?
moved from Canada to Belgium because he loves pigeons, like a lot.
If this was a room of hens, of women, pigeons, females, hens, and you came in here every day, and I said, hello, hi girls, hi, hi. And I look at her, and she sits up here, and you talk to her a little, you talk a little bit, look at her, and you make
Okay.
eye contact with her, just like a girl at the bar.
It started about 20 years ago
Wow.
with a new kind of
This
competition
guy
called
and his
one-loft
colorful
racing,
descriptors.
in which fanciers from around the world battle for millions of dollars.
This
It's a
fucking
beautiful
guy.
idea, but when there's money involved, it's not the same.
We went to a one-loft race in Portugal to see how it works. Months earlier, fanciers shipped their best young prospects to the race loft so the pigeons could learn to recognize it as their home. The cost to enter a bird is about $500. The more pigeons, the larger the pot of prize money.
Wow.
All racing pigeons are identified by leg bands. Just before the race, each of the 3,300
There's
birds
a
is
whole
scanned into a
fucking
database
universe
and
out
then
there
driven
of just
300
pigeon
miles away
racing.
to be released.
It's insane.
The first pigeon to find their way back into the loft wins. 6 hours later, a spotter at the finish blew a whistle to signal the leaders were circling above. The
There's
first
3
into
of
the
them.
loft got the biggest cuts of the $1.2 million purse.
And it's crazy. Wow.
It's crazy. You only see the last 30
Yeah,
seconds
like I
of the
said,
pigeon
it's
race.
crazy.
Isn't it something?
People refer to it as a sport.
It's a sport.
Is it a sport?
Sure it is. Is horse racing a sport? It's a sport.
With so much money at stake, the bad guys moved in and began to steal the sports superstars.
Fucking bad guys.
They'll have the people come in and look at the pigeons, somebody who's orchestrating it, and then they send other people, maybe a week later, a month later, a year later, take them. And normally the time when breeding starts, in the end of November, December, January, that's when all the key birds will be paired together. Easy stealing, right?
We've heard people talking about a pigeon mafia. Is that a thing?
Yeah, I think there is. Again, it's money involved.
Fanciers and investigators
First of
told
all,
us
we gotta
they
steal
believe
some
international
pigeons.
gangs are behind smuggling
Gee,
networks
Tone,
that
I don't
breed
know.
the stolen
I
pigeons.
think we
to
need
sell their
Pokemon
offspring.
cards instead. Why don't we do Pokemon? You know, Christopher, you don't question the boss, okay? The man wants to get into pigeons, you let him get into pigeons.
The black market to fanciers anxious to supercharge their bloodlines. This batch, stuffed in
How
socks and
about
hidden in
that?
a briefcase, was stopped in December at Latvia's border with Russia. That led to a raid in March 2025 in a Brussels suburb on this yellow house and a Romanian national.
Acolo unde acesta a și fost
1,200 miles away,
Mirroring the
Romanian
video
cops also
doesn't
searched
prevent
the homes of
copyright,
some
by
of
the
his
way.
relatives. In all, 87 pigeons were found that appeared to be birds stolen from Belgium. The identity rings were gone, so cops turned to Ruben Landcrete and his genetic testing. His DNA analysis helped identify 20 of the recovered pigeons, including 2 of Finn's grandchildren.
Pigeon thefts have been happening
But now you can solve them, right?
with DNA. Yes, that's a very good. Now we can close the case.
Well, kind of. 8 co-conspirators were convicted, with the mastermind sentenced to 30 months in jail. But he
Wow,
won't
good.
reveal what happened to the rest of Tom Von Gover's stolen pigeons, including Finn.
Where are the pigeons? Give them back.
This isn't about the money for you. This is about the pigeon.
I want my pigeon back.
I mean, I would too. I can't blame him. Man. So, again, worlds within worlds. This is stuff I would have never expected. But also that video is just called The Pigeon Mafia. And I don't know where you could find. What was that, like 20 minutes? Was it 60 minutes? 20 minutes? What was the name of the program? But it is on YouTube. And it's that was from 3 months ago. And there's a chance that'll get dinged. There is a chance. So, you know, guys, I think, yeah, just be real careful with the educational segments. I know that it's more fun to watch videos, but again, hot dogs. So, got to be careful. But yes, that is 60 minutes. And if you are watching this and you do not see that video, you know how to find it. Pause the video and go watch that because it's very interesting. Wow, the graphics are amazing. While some breed pigeons for sport, others breed pigeons for pleasure. This has led to some absolutely stacked pigeons like the Powder. Oh my god. Darwin was especially interested in this variety for totally scientific reasons. He was amazed at how a simple rock dove could be shaped into such a weird form over time. Powders come in many varieties, some with feathered feet and muscular thighs, all with giant Robertsons. You really see. Pigeons typically live 8 to 10 years and pair bond. They don't go stepping out on a woman. They also kiss, which involves them pressing their beaks together and pretending to vomit into each other's mouths. This is supposed to show how good they would be at feeding their future kids. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if there's like a little thing. There it is. There. Oh wait, no. Was there a thing here? A thingy? It's supposed to. Oh! There was a bra that was placed. Okay, I didn't see it. Chat. Very subtle. Very mature. While domestic pigeons were destined to beg for scraps on city streets, other wild varieties dress a bit more formal. The Victoria Crown Pigeon, named after the Queen, struts around its native New Guinea sporting an enormous blue crest and crimson bosom. bosom. I'm mature too. Fruit doves definitely live up to the fruit in their name, appearing in a wild mix of greens, yellows, oranges, and purples as they gorge themselves on tropical fruits in Southeast Asia. Then there's the Nicobar pigeon, a shimmering metallic masterpiece looking like an Egyptian pharaoh, though they reside in India. Fun fact, it's the closest living relative to the extinct dodo. That's a beautiful pigeon. Man, how cool is that? Let's see. Slide 8. After this one, I show a new video. Pigeons have also become unlikely icons of internet culture. One of the most famous pigeon-related memes is the "Is this a pigeon?", which comes from the anime The Brave Fighter of Sun Bird, and shows a character confusing a butterfly for a pigeon. The image became a universal reaction meme for moments of obvious misunderstanding. Trash Doves was a viral internet meme that began as a set of stickers created by the artist Sid Weiler featuring a goofy purple pigeon with big eyes. The most famous version showed the bird wildly headbanging, and after appearing on Facebook in 2017, it quickly spread across social media. I've seen that. Pigeons wearing bread necklaces. Yes, this one is from TikTok, and there are a billion examples. You just have to see it. Another pigeon meme, please, we can pretend people don't actually believe this, is the birds aren't real conspiracy, which claims that pigeons are government surveillance drones specifically created to spy on us. Oh god. I have one too. It's pigeons eating bread in funny ways, and also noodle pigeon, which I may be semi-responsible for.
Unless you're saving, you're saving it for later. Oh, this is like leftover.
He does it on purpose. Do you see that? He like did it on purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's really cute. Pigeons, they're great. There's no way people actually believe this. You know what? Of course they do. Never mind. Not surprising. Birds aren't real is a satire. You know, things like that start as a satire. I really believe that. I believe a lot of flat earthers were just kind of like making a meme and trolling. And then people were like, wait a minute. It kind of goes back to that old adage of, you know, if you try to create a community and you act like an idiot. Wait. Hang on, how does this go? If you act like an idiot, you attract idiots. Even if you're just joking around. It's something like that. I forget. So me, yes. Yeah. God damn it. I don't want to Google pigeon milk. Alright. Pigeon milk. Okay. You know, it was scientific until image number 5, and then it was deeply, deeply upsetting. So the next time you see a crusty-ass pigeon waddling over like a dumbass, remember, you're kind of the ones that put him there, so throw that guy a little bread, it's the least you can do. Well, listen, I also, and I have one more pigeon video to show you, but I like pigeons. I know they can be a little bit, I don't know, they poop, and they can just be everywhere, and, you know, you see them in like a city, and there's poop. But they're pretty chill little guys, I mean, once you get to know them. And, you know, just recently, for those that don't know, I put out a video for my band that involved me filming pigeons eating from below. And the reason I did that was, I don't know, but I just kind of thought it would be funny. And it worked out pretty nicely. And they're just chilling and eating, and they're funny. I don't know, they're funny little guys. And I ended up getting some surprisingly good footage. I mean, it wasn't perfect, you know, with the plexiglass reflection and some of the like, it got a little bit blurry, but I think it was a worthwhile project for sure. And I will at some point show you the device used in making this. And like, I do have a behind the scenes. I just need to, with the tour and everything, I hadn't had a chance to do it. But we definitely did abandon them, and they were used, and you know, for a number of jobs, as we just learned. And now they're just looking for some trash. You know, eating some rotten cheese and all that. So here's the top 5 pigeons.
Today we have a list of top 5 pigeon. Número 5. Pigeon spin.
I like that one a lot, yeah.
Número 4. Pigeon fall.
No, don't pull. No. Ah!
Número 3. Pigeon flip.
Wow.
Número 2. Pigeon in backrooms.
What the fuck wrong with you? I'm on that good cushion, that good.
Honorablemente.
What the hell was that?
It's not even pink. This is raw.
And Coop has delivered undercooked salmon.
Número 1. Pigeon attack.
Okay. All right. That's the pigeon segment. We did it. This is a short segment. I liked it. Thank you, Swishy. And again, sorry if you watch this on full sauce and there's stuff missing, but you know, we have to see what happens. You gave them jobs by letting them act in your music video. Yeah, I did. And they ate very, very well. So I'm happy for them. They got a chance to enjoy a nice meal. But all right, that's it, chat. Thank you. Have a wonderful night. I appreciate you being here for Sunday stream. If you have any Sunday stream, suggestions, submit.vinesauce.com. Probably the best way to do it. And yeah, I'll be around tomorrow. So I'll be streaming tomorrow. I think I might finish or try to finish Mario Eclipse this week. And more stuff as well. Yeah. Bye, chat.
USMOI, Hernias. Today on Peppermint Park, introducing letter the weekend evidence to church or extra to letter you're in read. Just think of how some words that commencement with evidence